This bench that you see behind me is not necessarily my idea of the ideal reloading bench so much as it was a specific purpose-built display table. So when new people come in, I can show them what are the tools that are involved with reloading, how to do this and that and whatnot. There are, though, some elements to it that I would incorporate if I were to build a more specific purpose-built reloading bench, and I can dedicate it to that. First one that I gave consideration to, though, was the height of it. Because as people come in here and I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm working standing up. So I've got everything at a height that makes sense for what it is that I'm doing. And the top on this is 39 inches. So if, for example, you prefer to work sitting down because you're going to go out to the garage, you're going to put on the radio, you have the door open, you're just going to enjoy an afternoon and make an ammunition, but you want to sit down, well, what's the height that I work at? How do I figure this out? Well, you just sit in whatever chair it is you're going to sit in when you're doing this. If you've got that worked out, or maybe you have a stool that's got adjustable height, that's always kind of a nice convenience to have as well. But think about like your dining room table, wherever you sit down and you eat. How high is that? Is that a comfortable height for you? So if you've got your press there, you're pulling the handle, and then you've got to have a place to put your knees. If you're going to be working standing up, maybe it's important for you to have a toe kick right under here so you're not kicking this thing all the time. It is a wonderful convenience to have cabinets right here. So you need something, take it out, you use it, you put it back, it's right there. And maybe some cabinets up top as well. However, there's a case feeder. If I've got a bullet feeder and I've got some other things that are going to be up high, obviously I can't have cabinets up there. So I'm thinking about where I'm going to put those. Here, I've got windows and I've got open shelving so that I'm displaying things. If, on the other hand, I'm going to have slat wall or pegboard or something like that so I can hang up my tools, what's the depth of the bench going to be? If it's somewhere 18, 20 inches, something like that, so I can reach it without having to climb over the bench, because you've got like a balance scale right there in the front, and I need my bullet puller. I lean over the cabinet, and now I'm knocking over my balance scale just to get at my bullet puller. Those are the types of things, if you can give a little bit of thought to that, it's just going to make your life a little bit easier down the road. Now, when you have open shelving, like I have here, it's great because I'm not opening up cabinets looking for things that I'm looking for. It's obviously right there in front of me. Well, that's got its downside too. This place, if I've got the doors open, oh man, does the dirt come through here. And I will have just crud built up on everything in here in no time at all. So I got to dust off the shelves in here every year, whether I want to or not. Cabinets are going to help you keep everything a little bit cleaner. You want the top to be pretty solid. When you mount a press to it, you don't want to have any flex in that at all. You want to be able to mount your press, use it. If you are doing some swaging on your press or you're doing something where you're kind of leaning into it a little bit, you don't want to have anything moving around. So I know guys that use butcher block, some that use a couple of layers of plywood. This one's actually a little bit thinner than what would be more ideal. Now, it happens to be walnut, which is pretty hard, but again, this was not something that was specific purpose built for making ammunition so much as it is a demonstration table. So I've got more of that in mind. And the other thing is, if you've got about 4 feet of space, that's great. If you got more, even better. You want to keep your bench pretty well clutter free. This is not the example to follow. I keep specific things up here for the sole purpose of somebody coming in. I can walk them through a process very quickly, and I'm not getting things out and setting it up, and you know what I mean, and wasting half the day just trying to get set up to demonstrate to somebody something that if I just had it out would work very quickly. But this is not left for the sole purpose of making ammunition with this much clutter on it. I'm also a big believer in having a little extra space along with your load block if you're using single stage or a turret press, one on the left, one on the right. So when you do a step, you take it from the left and move it to the right. That's the way I do it because I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, maybe go from the right to the left. Or if you're reading Hebrew, if you want to go the other way, that's fine too. The idea here is to have a little bit of extra real estate for something else that can be on there, like your iPad or your reloading manual. Whenever you're loading, keep your data right there on the bench. You'd be surprised how often you can be just enjoying a great day and you're going to now do some overall length comparator work, and you've got all your tools set out and the radio is going in the background and Tommy Two-Tone is singing 8675309 and you're thinking of numbers to do. What was that? I've had it happen to me. It can happen to anybody. It's just, leave a space for you to be able to put your reloading book, your manual, your iPad, whatever it is you're going to use to pull your data from, out. All these little storage cabinets that I have here, those are the shape and design that they are because I've got specific things that I put in there. And I tend to put small things in the smaller little cubbies because that's where I know that I've taught my brain I keep stuff like that. If it's long and skinny, an overall length gauge with all of the little modified cases and the comparators and that type of thing. I keep long skinny things in a long skinny container. Yeah, I could drop everything in a great big drawer like that and it would fit. I have found personally it works for me if I have a like kind container for the basic shape of the tool itself. That way I know if it's a long skinny thing, I got long skinny boxes. That's where I put my long skinny things. I don't drop everything into a drawer. It's like the junk drawer in the kitchen. You're rummaging through it, hoping you can find some whatever it is that you're looking for. Things like this just make your life a little bit easier. So if you can spend a little time, if you're brand new, with somebody else at their bench reloading, see how they've got it set up, how they store things, you can start to run in your mind, okay, I would do this a little bit differently. Well, they work sitting down. I prefer to work standing up personally. You know what I mean? It's all personal preference. But the thing is, the more you do this, the more you're going to figure out what works well for you. And then you can kind of tweak what you're doing, and particularly with the storage of your stuff. There's nothing more aggravating than trying to find something that you keep putting in a different spot all the time, or you have no system for storing your stuff. Have something in your mind so at least you have your own personal reference of what to look for when you go to find something. Hope that's helpful. Happy trails.